Hello, everyone. In this video, we will look at defining custom exception classes in section 13.9. You can define custom exception class by extending the Python best exception class or a subclass of best exception class. We have used a number of Python built-in exception classes, such as zero division error, syntax error, runtime error, and value error. There are many other exception classes you can use from the Python API. Now, this diagram just demonstrates a couple of classes you can use and their hierarchical relationship. Now, best exception is the root class of all the exception, and then exception, standard exception. Then you have the arithmetic error, environment error, runtime error, syntax error, lookup error, and zero division error is right here. So all of this, and you can use if the standard exception classes do not handle your situation well, you can define your own custom exception class. When you define your custom exception class, you normally should derive it from the best exception or a subclass of best exception, such as runtime error. Let's look at this, the so-called class. We can through the exception if the radius is invalid. So we're going to define this class invalid radius exception. So we're going to make this as a subtype of runtime error. So here is the invalid radius exception, and this is the constructor. And so we get the radius, and this is the get radius. Now, we're going to use it in this circle with custom exception. So in this circle class, circle is a subtype of geometric object. We now import invalid radius exception, import geometric object, import math. So here is super dot init. So we're going to get this from the super type. And we're going to set the radius. So this is the for the circle class. It's a subtype of geometric object, and set radius. And this is get radius, set radius, set radius. If radius is greater than or equal to 0, we can set it. Otherwise, we're going to rest exception. So this is a rest invalid radius exception. So here is radius. So that's how we use the invalid radius exception. And so this is the constructor right here. So this is the pass a radius. So this is our circle class. And now we're going to write a test program using the circle class. And we create a circle object with radius 5. This is okay. And now with radius -5. So we're going to have exception. We're going to process this exception except invalid radius exception. and this is EX because we're using this object EX. We're going to get the radius. So what is the radius? All right. So please note that the order is important. So we have this is the invalid radius exception before exception because invalid radius is a subtype of runtime error, which is subtype of exception. So you have to have the subtype before the supertype. So if you put them in the wrong order, except exception and then accept invalid exception, so that would be incorrect. That is all for this section on defining custom exception classes. Thank you for watching. See you on the next video.